Happy Friday. We finally made it through another week. Yay. Sorry, I'm getting situated here. Yay. So what's on my mind for today? You never know what's going through this head of mine. So something that I feel strong about talking about today, and it's something I've hit on before and even talked about a little bit before, but it's about how important it is to surround yourself by people who are uplifting you and not dragging you down. I reiterate this a lot because it's been a pattern in my life that I consistently surrounded myself by people who were dragging me down. And you say, well, why would you do that? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and a lot of people do this. I feel like there was a part of me for many years that I was struggling to find my purpose. I was struggling to find out what God was going to use me for. I knew there was something. I knew all the events that had happened in my life were forming into something. I knew that it would be some form of help for others. I knew that all these life lessons I've lived, and if you know me, you know that my life has contained a lot of tornadic events and a lot of tragedy and trauma. And some of the things I went through were devastating to me, and I wasn't sure I'd pull through. I wasn't sure why. Why were these things happening? But I realized that there was something inside of me, always knowing that I somehow wanted to use these events to help others, to be more empathetic, more sympathetic, to help others learn not to do those same things, or either to hold their hand and help them through that. So I never thought I'd be called into ministry, so this was a new thing for me, but now it just all makes sense, and I'm really excited about that. But back to the original point was that I constantly surrounded myself by the wrong people. Now, I did it out of honorable intentions. I thought I could help people. And instead of helping them, I would get drugged down into the murky depths of whatever was going on in their life. And why couldn't I help them? Well, let's see. I had good intentions, but I didn't have the Holy Spirit working through me, and I wasn't putting God first in my life. I was trying to help people based on my own abilities, and it wasn't working. You know, now God has taken that and changed all of that around. But the point was, I get off point a lot. Who you surround yourself with has a massive impact on your life. People in your life can stop you from receiving God's blessings. They can stop you from fulfilling your calling, or people in your life can be a blessing. People in your life can be a blessing that uplifts you and makes everything wonderful come into your life. So it's very important to know when to walk away. Proverbs 13:20, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fool suffers harm. Companion of fools suffers harm. Let me say that right. Okay, one more time. Take two. Proverbs 13:20. I'm so glad it's Friday. Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. So in other words, walk around people who are lifting you up, not constantly surround yourself by fools, because fools and what you surround yourself, that is what's going to happen in your life. It will come to be just like that. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. So unless you have got the Holy Spirit working through you and God is leading you into a situation to help someone, you better be careful, because you think you've got control over it. You think, no, I can hang out with this person. Yeah, I know they're absolutely horrible, but they're funny and I enjoy hanging out with them. So I can do it. I won't get in too deep. Famous last words. And what that sounds like, it sounds like a drug addict. Oh, you know what? I can do drugs this one time and I'll never do it again. Yeah, no. For some people that works, but for a lot of people it doesn't. So when you start sticking your toe in that quicksand, you better be careful before it sucks you in. Proverbs 22:24-25. Make no friendship with a man given to anger, nor go with a wrathful man, lest you learn his ways and can tangle yourself in a snare. Again, same point being made over and over again. When you get around people who are dragging you down, they will drag you down too. They will suck you down into the world. And the worst thing is, you don't even realize it. A lot of times it happens so gradually, you don't realize it. And then you wake up one day and you realize you're surrounded by drama. You're surrounded by conflict. You're surrounded by chaos. You start becoming anxious. You become depressed. Your life just seems hard. Every task in your life seems hard. You have no joy. You have no happiness. You dread getting up. You want to sleep all day. You don't want to get out there and do stuff. You dread going to work. People you surround yourself with can make all these things happen. And you ask yourself, well, I don't even know where it's coming from. That's what I hear a lot of people say. They come to me and they say, my life is a wreck. It's miserable. And I don't even know where it's coming from. Okay. This is my advice to people who are experiencing this kind of problem. If you go to a doctor for food allergies, they can run tests and tests and tests. But you know what they generally end up doing? Test after test after test are always inconclusive. Very rarely do they nail it as to exactly what it is. So what even doctors will tell people, and it's pure common sense. Okay, boom. Take everything out of your diet, and then you just start adding it back one by one until you see when you have a reaction. And when you have a reaction, wha-bam! You know what's causing it. Okay, so let's apply this to our lives and the people in our lives. Sometimes when you realize that your life is just full of chaos and anxiety and depression, you need to stop. You need to clear your life of everything and everyone. Now, this doesn't mean go sever every friendship, but it means you pull back. Take some time to yourself. Study the word. Get close to God. He is the one friend who's not going to lead you astray. He's the one friend that's not going to disappoint you. He's the one friend that's not going to cause you any stress or anxiety. So pull away from the worldly friends. Lean into your relationship with God. Then start adding people back into your life one by one. And pretty soon you'll realize when the chaos starts, and you'll know where it's coming from. So easier said than done, maybe, but make a conscious effort to do this. And then when you realize, hey, John Doe over here, when I let him back into my life, there suddenly was just chaos. There was yeah, there was this, there was that, da. And I realized that the anxiety and stress started coming back. Well, guess what? That's the allergy that you get rid of. And you can't just get rid of it for a little time. What happens with food allergies? You have to get rid of them, usually forever. Now, there are some cases of people actually getting over some food allergies. Maybe the same thing can apply to people. Maybe their life changes or your life changes and they're no longer toxic. But it is okay to walk away from toxic people. It's okay to realize, hey, this person is having a horrible effect on my life and it's time to go. It's not turning your back on someone. And that's the other thing people come to me. They're like, well, I don't want to turn my back on this person. You're not turning your back on them. You can still love them. You can still care about them. You can still pray for them. But you do not have to have someone in your everyday life if they are causing you the stress and the anger that comes from a toxic person. Have you ever noticed when you're around someone who's angry all the time, that you'll actually feel your own blood pressure start rising? Jesus walked away from toxic people. In Isaiah 43:18-19, it says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. People that truly love you and care about you will want your life to be whole and happy. They will want to see you do a new thing. And that's our thought for today.